Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to your friend. Jeff, you detect that Zosex believes that if anything, if the evidence is clear that Jasara is responsible, it's not truthful.
Oh, right. So he has doubt about the clarity.
No, he sort of feels somewhat satisfied. He's satisfied with that the evidence points to Jasar, but he knows that evidence is fraudulent.
He knows the evidence is fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. My lord, we're here to complete the report for the king and to report back. Can we have your evidence and formally prepare it for the royal court?
Again, I thought I was talking to your friend here. Victoria rolled for persuasion with Jeff providing and Mindata's, either of you providing the action. So roll with advantage.
Which advantage?
So that means you roll twice and you take that.
And add your modifier.
Right.
So 11 plus whatever.
That's a 20. Did you roll 2 11s?
I guess so.
Yes, that's what it looks like. So 11 plus 9 is 20.
Yep, okay.
All right. He says, well, I suppose I can show you the scene of the crime. Sorry, he says, Jeff, you sense that he wants to limit your access to just the scene of the crime.
Okay. There is more afoot here, isn't there? Okay. Which I don't say out loud, of course.
On the way through into the castle, you can see that there's a sort of sitting room, and there is a woman and 2 children, a boy and a girl, and by their bearing, you assume that they are Duke Uneroth's family.
It's with great sadness that we heard about the death, and it is a terrible thing for the duchy and
the girl, who looks to be a mid-teen, in her mid-teens, stands and says, "Thank you. We're in deep grieving. Now that my father has passed, the duty of ruling Lameron fall to me. I not ready, but I will do what I can.
Well, I reckon a pair of 20 charisma and a party could do an awful lot to guide her hand here. This is I'm just thinking out aloud, but not saying it out aloud, of course.
Right. Her brother, younger brother, looks ferociously angry. And says, our first course will be taking revenge on Jassar.
How long did it take you to find all this evidence against the Duke?
Well, here it
30
is.
seconds is my guess.
Well, the daughter, Kudax, says his body's in the dungeon under guard. His study has been sealed off and is guarded. But see for yourself. And she hands you a bronze clasp, as from a cloak or a robe, held to used to hold a cloak together at the neck, and it has a symbol on it, and the symbol is a skull with flames coming off the skull, and there's a dagger, a bloody dagger, and there is also a note which has blood on it as well. And the note reads, Unaroth, my emissaries from Baron Hart will accept your written concession of the election. Only my candidacy will proceed. Fail to concede and you will face my retribution. I'm certain your wife and children will be grateful for pragmatism. Jassar.
Well, that seems a bit too convenient.
Right, shall we? So we have a note, we have a bloody dagger, we have the scene of the crime is the study, and we have the body in the dungeon.
And we have a clasp for a cape.
And we have a
That's
clasp
flaming
for a
skull.
cape that is skull with flame. Okay, does any of this have a ring a bell with anyone here?
Rings plenty of bells for me, Jeff.
Oh, ha ha.
Do I recognize the clasp? Is anything?
I don't know. Have you ever seen a clasp with?
I don't know, have I? It doesn't strike me as anything, but it might strike Zane as something.
Well, unless you have reference to it somewhere, I'm afraid I cannot help.
Okay.
Isn't it a little too convenient that the note was just left here?
Are you saying that out loud or
In character,
um,
out loud.
Kudak says it was found on my father.
Have we met the Duke of Jassar?
Duke Jassar? No, you've not met him.
No, I've not met him. Does anyone have a spell that can help uncover some of the mysteries here? I'm thinking maybe a speak with dead that someone might be able to get, or a something like that.
I have in my notes Burning Skull Medallion left behind by Archivelt. Archivelt is the Tabaxi bank clerk who potentially stole artifact, travelled north, most likely to Paragraph.
Say that again.
So there was a Burning Skull Medallion left behind by Archivelt. And Archivelt was the Tabaxi bank clerk who potentially stole the artifact. Apparently he travelled north, most likely to Paragraph.
So this is linked to Rizul and the Fuse.
It seems so. I knew that the Flaming Skull Medallion sounded familiar. Glad I kept notes of that.
So the regent's name is Kudakda.
No, the daughter, the eldest.
Yeah, isn't she?
The heir,
she's
the heir to the
heir?
heir to the
Right,
throne.
okay, we'll call her the heir. Your Majesty, there are deeper and deeper mysteries here, not just about the Duke of Dessau, but about the assassins who wish to overthrow the king. There's more than one mystery of.
I see. Well, what do you need?
We would like to see the study,
Yes.
and most referentially, if we could observe the body. And can we take the dagger and the note as persuasively as I can manage?
She says, take it where?
To the king.
No. Yes, of course. His Majesty must learn the truth, whatever that truth might be.
Right. Okay. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
The brother has very clear views about.
Yeah. Got that impression. Can we see the study?
Okay. She says, Zosex, show them the study. Zosex looks very uncomfortable. Conversation that you've just been having, but with whatever reluctance he may feel, nonetheless takes you to the study. The guards open the door for you. So, and then you're in the study, which has bookcases against some of the tapestry. There's a window that looks out. Well, there's a window. You're not close enough to it to see what you can see. There is a desk in the middle of the room and a large chair. There is a large pool of blood in the middle of the room and a trail of blood leading from the large pool to around the side of the desk and behind the desk.
Anyone got that magnifying glass?
I pull out the magnifying glass and I would like to look at the desk.
Like to
Who's got the highest investigation?
Vice Clayton. Anyway.
Mindatus?
Mindatus is gone for a second.
Right. Who's got the highest investigation skill?
I got +3.
I'm at 0.
+1.
So our best three.
Definitely not Barak.
But there,
I reckon you should stand next to Zosek. Just make him uncomfortable.
hey, Mindatus, are you any good at investigating things?
What sort of thing?
What's your investigation? Is it examining what's on a desk, for instance, through a magnifying glass?
Who gets the magnifying glass and gets to play detective?
I've got it in my bag right now and I've pulled it out. You any good at investigating, Mindatus?
I mean, I have a high intelligence, but I wouldn't say proficient.
I'm in the same boat.
All right. Okay.
I'll pass it. Yep, sorry.
+3. Who's got the highest pluses? +3?
Yep.
+4.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
I give it over to Mindatus.
We all do an investigation from where we stand, except Mindatus.
Okay. So you see, Mindatus, you see, and everybody knows this, that there are a number of items, books and pencils, paper strewn over the floor, which you assess would probably have been on the desk and strewn on them in some way. And there's the desktop has a leather surface, and you can see there are indentations where paperweights and inkwell appear to have been rested for some time. There's a little bit of dust on it. There's like a mark that appears to be blood that is soaked into the leather dry and scratched into that that blood with what appears to have been finger. You find the following. Whoops. I accidentally hit return there of 5 sets of 4.
There are 5 sets of 4 letters.
That's right, and it's all. Well, it's not in one line. It's marked in the book. Yes. For ease of explanation.
Can you say that again?
So, blood has clearly pooled on the desk and dried into it, but before being dried, these letters have been marked into the blood by someone using it.
That would take a while to write, wouldn't it? Like if someone's trying to write that and they're dying at the same time, they might as well, crawl out the door and yell for help. Is that the assassin who's written that?
I mean, I don't think Ruby would just tell you.
No, I was asking you.
Certainly, the last 6 to 8 of those letters look to be in less coherently scratched than the first.
So we have a code.
I would say that it's most likely been written whilst he was dying?
At the mention of code, I'd step up to the desk and take a quick look at it. Does this look like anything that I would be familiar with in terms of codes and symbology, based on like my thieves' cant skill?
It does not look like not thieves' cant.
Yeah, but does it look like any sort of, because I have
It looks
I have
like
knowledge of codes and other kinds of things that and symbols that thieves might use and other groups might use. I have knowledge of general codes.
Yes, it looks like a replacement code, effectively, where the letters replace other letters they're supposed to.
I'll relay that to the group and tap my nose thoughtfully and then go, so assuming that the last word is fuck, let's change those letters around and see what we get. And all the whys with you seem to make no sense, so I'll lose that train of thought and keep going. But it looks like a replacement type of code.
Okay, the trail of blood.
Yes.
Mindatus, where does the trail of blood lead?
The
Mindatus.
blood leads from in the middle of the room to the chair behind the desk. The chair itself is also looks to have blood soaked into it. Gives the appearance of Uniroth having dragged himself from the moved from not dragged himself moved from the centre of the room to sit at the desk.
No sex. Who was found in the chair?
Zosex, what?
No sex, yeah. Was the body found in the chair?
Yes.
Was the door locked?
Yes.
Was the window locked?
No.
Okay, so do you think the assassin came in the window?
Well, it's not for me to say. I'm merely a humble servant.
Who found the body?
I did.
Oh, not for me to say. I'm a humble servant. That must have been awful.
Yes, dreadful, dreadful. Even now, I am tortured by the thought of it.
And where did you find the dagger?
The dagger was on the floor near the pool of blood there.
And the brooch?
Was in my lord's hand.
And do you know what these letters mean?
I didn't find the brooch. My lady, the Duke's daughter, found. Sorry, what was the last question?
Do you know what the letters mean?
What letters?
The letters in the desk.
Oh, there's some. There's what? What letters? He comes over to the desk to look at the letters. And he looks
Oh,
at
really? Yeah.
them, and he looks unhappy.
Unhappy.
Says, yes, says, I've got to go. He walks out towards the door, says to one of the guards, show these people to the to my lord's body when it leaves.
All right. Has anyone got anything else they want to look at? Oh, window. About how high are we?
at the window,
Yeah.
about 50 feet from the ground. The ground. So you're looking out the window. There's the ground below. Yeah, the window looks out.
Okay. Is Vosek still there?
No, he's left the room. He's gone.
Right. Anything that anyone else wants to do before we leave this?
Not really.
Does it look like anything is out of place at the window?
Search for a secret door.
Ah,
Roll for investigation.
Oh, okay.
You can see scratch marks in the stone of the windowsill, consistent with a graphic.
there we go. This wouldn't be a problem for a thief to get up here at all. Thief?
I'll lean over and have a look. And it's one story up, is it?
It's 50 feet up. No, that's
50
Right.
feet?
more like 5.
I say it's doable. Definitely doable. No, I'm not
Okay.
a thief. I'm not a thief, though.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were a thief.
I'm in the business of acquiring information.
Oh, okay.
And
All right,
objects that he didn't
And
originally
objects.
own.
All right. Rogue. I should say investigator. Should we go to the dungeon?
I think so. I don't think there's anything else here, unless anyone else wants to check. I'm for the dungeon.
All right. So the guards show you the dungeon and to Duke Unroth's spot. You can see that twice in the chest.
In the chest, in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And then enough time to walk around, scratch something in, and die.
I'd like to have a look at like his forearms and his hands. Does it look like there's any defensive wounds on there, or is it?
Yes, he has some bruises on lower arms, like they've been. Look like somebody has grabbed his lower arms quite. And it looks like 2 hands on each arm.
2 hands.
On each arm.
So it should be fairly easy. We're looking for a 4-armed assassin.
Well,
Oh, I don't know of many.
I couldn't possibly promise.
Don't know of many four-armed peoples, so I'm not that well travelled.
Should be easy to find a four-armed assassin. Should ask around.
Why would someone be holding him to shoot him at range? Sounds like he was being tortured. Can I examine if he's like wearing all of his jewelry? I'm looking specifically for things that would carry weight and bearing of his title. You know, like signet rings, or a locket that he would use, or something like.
He's nude.
Cool. Right, never mind.
Well, I'll just be averting my eyes.
Oh. Anything else?
Does he have any marks on his body that aren't wounds? I'm looking at like tattoos, anything like that.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has some scars that look like they're quite old, long ago.
And are his fingers still bloody, as if he was the one who was the author of that note up on the desk? Or has he been cleaned up?
Indeed, the index finger on right has blood.
Okay, so
Now, would the go on?
no, you go.
He had his throat cut as well, didn't he?
There's no sign of his throat being.
Okay, I don't know where I got that from then. But do the stab wounds look consistent with the dagger that we found?
Yes, when you hold the dagger up, check, you can see that the stab wounds appear the right size and shape.
So what would everyone else like to? What are we all thinking?
So Zosex knows more than,
Agreed.
and he might know something about what that. We're assuming that there's planted evidence here, so we think that the dagger. We don't know. We don't know much about the dagger yet. Find out more about that. We know that the Duke was moved, stabbed, and scratched something into the desk. We think that he was held down by two people at some point. Is that right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so there are two sets of hands that forced him to do something. And that there was. So he was moved from where he was stabbed to behind the desk, and then killed after some discussion or something. I've just been nosing around, and I'm wondering if someone has a suggestions.
No, I don't have one.
I think we would like to compel Zosex to tell us everything he really does know now.
Well, if we can't compel him magically, maybe we talk to Kudax find out if there's like a family code that she might be aware of, and if not,
Yeah.
she letting her know the details, the questions that are arising about her father's untimely death. Maybe she can compel him.
Neresis,
Yeah, that sounds like a
do you have
Good
a
idea.
suggestion? Like an actual suggestion spell.
I do.
Aha.
Yes, I do.
And so, what is the plan?
Yes, out of character, what is the plan? Because I was only half paying attention because someone was talking to me.
I think Zosex knows more than he's letting on.
Yep, so we want to offer a suggestion to the daughter to see if she knows any.
I think we want to compel him to tell us what he knows
Oh,
about
him.
the code. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, and we got to try and break this code somehow, which is going to be really boring to do it in session.
Okay.
So, how do you want to do this?
Would it be better to talk to him while he's not around a lot of other people? In case anyone
Yes.
protests.
That would be perfect.
Well, if someone would like to get him in a position that would be favorable, I can cast suggestion on.
So he's not around at the moment. He ran off. And we're in, I think, guards hospitality right now.
That's right.
I'm quietly talking under my breath so the guards don't hear.
So he's been not in an hour.
Should we talk to Kudax again, see if she knows anything about the code?
Isn't Kudax the brother?
I thought that was the daughter,
The door.
the one
Oh,
who's currently heir to the throne. Is that
right. I'll follow your lead.
What does everyone else want to do?
Okay, so we've got enough from the body.
I can't see anything else on the body of use.
Okay.
That's someone else.
So let's go back.
Alright, so I guess we're going to check in with Kudax again, and I think we're trying to see where potentially Zosex might be, if he's come back.
Okay, so you go back to the room, the family, the sitting room where it says, "Well, have you found anything?"
Yes, milady. We found an odd bit of lettering by your father's desk. It seems it may have been the last thing he did, which tells us it's really important, but it looks like it's in code. Did you have a family code or anything like that? Does this at all seem familiar? And I'll use minor illusion to start recounting the 4-letter words in my hands.
Oh yes, that's my father taught me this at an early age. Me and Sin both. We used to make a game of sending messages to one another King's code. It's a two-step back code.
Okay.
2 steps back.
And
So X is Z, and M is O, so on.
X is Z.
X is Z,
So take the letter and go forward too.
M is O, and so on.
Zos.
Zosex.
Zosex. Oh, shit.
I'm going to talk to the guards and say, Zosex the traitor. Your king, your lord wrote the last thing as he died. Where is he now?
They look at
You're already there.
they look at Kudax and say, "My lady," and she says, "Find him." They rush off, and suddenly, all in the castle is a buzz of activity as guards run hither and thither to find Zosex. And after a period of time, some come in through the front door and say, we intercepted on his way into Squall's Inn. And Zosex looks pretty despondent.
Do we have an opportunity, a chance to speak with Zosex? Naturally, we would ask that you'd be there too. We just want to ask him about his motives, because this has obviously serious implications.
She walks up and spits in his face and asks away right now.
Oh, okay. I think it's time for a detect thought spell to go on.
Right? Your mic's not on.
Hello.
Damn it!
Yep.
Sorry, too excited. So I'll just motion for anyone else who wants to come and question him to do so. But I say, so who are you working for? Who put you up to this? The game's up. Best for yourself to
He says, I'm not. He says, I'm not working for anyone. I'm not working for anyone. I did one thing. I just did one thing.
What was that one thing?
Well, I gave a guy a thing. I gave a guy a key.
What was the key to?
Yeah, it was to my lord's study.
What did this guy look like?
Well, he's about your height, I guess. About maybe nearly as big, maybe bigger than you, a bit bigger than you. It's a half elf. His name was Cainton Giel.
And what do you know about this Catum Giel character?
Not a lot, paid well.
How did he find you? It was difficult for us to find you. How did he just casually walk up to you?
Well, I was having a beer at that pub.
What was the name of the pub?
The Fizzing Mole.
How much did he pay you?
He paid me 5,000 gold pieces.
And you didn't see it as a problem to be handing over your lord's key, room key to him?
Well, yeah, of course, I thought it was a problem. It was a problem that was pretty easily solved by about 5,000 pieces. I didn't know what they planned. They just, they told me they had to retrieve something, They had to get something out of my lord's chamber, and I just thought they were going to go steal it. I had no
How
idea.
many were there?
Hey?
How many? They?
Oh, three. Three of them.
Do you know the others?
Nah, didn't get their names. Didn't ask. Wasn't.
What do they look like? Was Caton the bigger one, or what were the other people similarly built?
The woman was somewhat taller but slighter build, and the other bloke was also a half elf. He was bigger.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Jeff,
Was
sorry, Jeff, you perceive that everything he is saying is truthful and that he's simply resigned to his.
Okay, so he's got nothing else. There's nothing else surface can add to that.
No, no, you
We got a full confession, did we?
you got a full confession.
Ah!
One more thing. So is the family around as well,
Yeah, they're all there still.
including the
Sin is looking murderous.
yeah. And so I'll say it loudly enough for the family to hear and say, so was this all part of a plot against Jisar? Why?
I've got no idea. I don't know anything about anything. I know nothing about anything. Except, of course, the money I know about.
How did you know there were three of them?
Well, because the guy was sitting with the other guys, the other people, before he came and saw me. I just assumed, I guess.
But surely you knew after the fact, when you had the note in your possession, that false note from Jisar, that this would be an instigator to war. Surely you realized that you nearly put your kingdom into war for no reason against Jisar.
I don't know anything about that note. As far as I know, that note could be true.
I think we're stretching your reliability here a little bit.
No, as far as I know, that Jisar could have been trying to pressure my lord into acquiescing, and as far as I know, he could have had him killed.
So, I think we need to follow the trail down at it's called the Fizzing Mole.
Yep.
And with any luck, we'll get into a bar fight, and our barbarian can do something.
Or he's up for a bit of rough and tumble.
Okay, Your Majesty. The plot thickens.
Indeed, it does. I'm concerned as to what my father's message means regarding my lord Harm. Concerned about that. Don't know.
What does that mean to you?
I can only assume my father was referring to Baron.
Sorry, you cut out.
I can only assume that my lord was referring. My father was Baron Harm, who is referred to in this note that seems to be from Jisar. So if Jisar is being implicated in this treason against my father, then so is Baron Harm. And my father's last words, his very last words, appear to have been "save Harm."
which is one of the places we passed on the way in. What?
Yes.
Do you have any news from Baron Harm recently?
No, we recently had some messengers from Baron Harm attend at the castle. I assume they brought this note.
What note?
The note from Jassar.
Okay, I'm confused. Do we
It
think
would
Baron
appear to me. It would appear to me that Baron Harm has somewhere been an intermediary here, or at least that's what we're supposed to think.
Okay. Shall we go to the Fizzing Mole and see what we can find through there?
I'm a bit concerned that Baron Harm might be at risk. Maybe do we check
This is
on
like
Baron Harm?
This is like 2 weeks off.
Oh, okay, all right. I suppose so then. If nothing's happened to him yet.
So
is there anyone else?
To the Fizzing Mole?
To the Fizzing Mole.
Kudak says, please keep me informed as to your finding.
Everything we find out, we will share with you.
I'm grateful. All right, you head down to the Fizzing Mole End. Squall's End is a port town, as the name suggests. So named because it offers safe haven as people come around from Port Draz, following the coast, which is buffeted by the winds coming up off the ocean, being very little between that coastline and the southernmost extremes of the world, and well known to be quite squally as it is. Anyway, the Fizzing Mole is a comfortable enough tav, nothing special, but homely and pleasant in these cool autumn evenings, which is indeed the time of day as you arrive. There's a decent crowd in tonight. No music being played, but there's a few games, card games and so on going on. People generally laughing, having a good time, and getting their drunk on.
Okay, so the descriptions of these people: 2 half-elf and a woman.
2 half-elf men and a human. The woman behind the bar sees you sort of standing around, not doing much other than taking in the surroundings, and says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Right. Is she super busy or just?
No, she's
conversation.
She looks like she's cleaning a tankard with a cloth, and generally, not in any bad rush.
I think this woman needs persuading.
Right. And are you the person?
I'll persuade if our number one persuader is not paying attention right now.
I'd rather see what you can do.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look then. Oh, that's not right, is it?
That's not right.
Okay.
+7, 15. So,
15.
what are you saying?
We're interested in some guests you had here a few days. 2 half-elves and a tall, slight-built woman. One of the half-elves was quite big.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we get a lot of visitors here. Why are you interested in?
We are concerned that they may have bribed a palace official.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I know the ones you're talking about.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Sneaky looking people.
Yep.
They came in, they said they messengers from Baron Harm. They started asking all sorts of questions up about the castle. They came in from Castle Harm and spent a couple of nights here. Then I saw one of them having a word with that good for nothing Zosex, and then they probably I think they only stayed another night, then they were gone.
And they said they were from Baron Harm.
Yeah.
They are messengers from Baron Harm.
Yeah. I said to them, if you hear deliver a message, deliver it. You don't need parcel to deliver a message other than where it is. I pointed at it. I said, there it is. Deliver your message.
Wise words.
Well, you know, I wouldn't go so far as to say they're wise. Certainly. Anything else? Are you going to have something to drink, or?
Should we spend the night here? Or
She says, yes, you should spend the night here. And
how far is it to Baron Harm's castle?
A couple of days.
Is that where the trail leads everyone?
Three or 4 days, I guess.
I mean, that's what it's been like. I reckon so.
It does seem unusual that it's so... Well, Harm was in code, so there's a connection, isn't there?
It would seem so.
Yeah, I think there is.
I mean, depends how far ahead these guys are of us. Harm might already be dead as we speak, or perishing currently, or soon to be. Who knows? Maybe we'll get there in time. Maybe we won't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's
up to
go
us
there
where
and
we-
hope we get a fight. And I can.
She
Whether we
says,
wanna
I
bolt
don't
off
think
now,
they went
or-
back.
What?
I don't think they went back. When they left here, I saw Malith.
You saw what?
When they rode out of town, they rode straight on the way up to Malith. They didn't go out the road out back to Castle Harm.
Aha.
Is Castle Harm on the way out of here towards Malith? Or it's in opposite directions?
Castle Harm's back towards Port Draz. The road comes in from the east, from Port Draz, and then goes up to the north to Malith. I just happened to be out on the road. Noticed. That's all.
Should we check in on Harm?